Good evening, gamers, and welcome to Week 3 of the Wet n Wild Draft League Insurgents Edition. This week we're playing against Soulblaze's Oslo City Dragon Dancers, and this one was a rough and kind of a doozy. Let's just hop right into it. Here's the matchup. We're fighting Shenpao, Mega Flygon, Tapu Koko, but I will get into that one later because this is an entire story. Anyway, Insurgents Pokemon and other notes, just like last time. Speaking of last time, y'all probably know a little bit about my Insurgents guys, but we're gonna go back for the description. Delta Hydreigon, Grounded Poison, kind of like a roided up Nido, except this time it has healing, and a good deal more speed. Trades off a little bit of coverage for a little bit more utility and the ability Intoxicate, meaning it's attacking you with Return and Hyper Voice. Delta Snorlax is a tanky grass, uses Thick Fat to great effect, keeps bulk up, and has Synthesis, so it kind of just does whatever it wants, including kill everything. Don't think it has Leech Seed, but I don't quite remember. Mega Crawdon. It's Crawdon, but it's on steroids. Has a little bit more speed, sets up in your face, kills you. Delta Grottle. Water Ground, not fully evolved, so when it's an Eviolite poke, Water Absorb. Does very annoying physical tank things. On my opponent's end, we've got Mega Flygon. A bug dragon with 140 attack and 120 speed. It has the Insurgent's ability Amplifier, which is kind of like Punk Rock, but a little bit worse. Anyway, this Pokemon screams at you. Specifically, it uses Boom Burst and the new Insurgents move Dracon Voice, a special dragon attack with 105 base power, 85% accuracy, and is based in sound, so it's boosted by Amplifier. It sometimes runs Bug Buzz, although Boom Burst is naturally stronger if you run the actual math. It often doesn't because of this, but because I have a Delta Snorlax, it probably will. Boom Burst, Fire Blast, two bug moves of choice, kind of just rolls me. And then we have Delta Sliggoo, a water ground Evioliter with crazy amounts of special defense and no reliable healing. It's not totally relevant here. What is relevant, though, is Gliscor. Gliscor is a massive problem. And because of Gliscor, I would like to introduce to you the who can do a darn thing here O-meter. Because with the presence of Gliscor, some of my offense kind of gets tanked. Zeraora doesn't really do anything anymore, Sneasler doesn't really do anything anymore, and then when you think about how Gliscor spams Taunt all the time and probably clicks Knockoff, Skarmory isn't really doing too much either. But Gliscor's not the only problem. Shenpao and Flygon are also massive problems. I'm not really tanking these guys. Delta Hydreigon was kind of on the chopping block after the Gliscor bit. Its redeeming quality was learning Ice Fang, but because it just gets rolled by the top two no matter what I do, it's out as well. Delta Grottle, I love the guy, but it just lets in Flygon so freely, and I get screamed at, and my normal resistances are really bad. In that I mean they are just Skarmory, which means my special normal resistances are really bad, so Delta Grottle is not showing up. Because of those big guys, especially Mega Flygon, Crawdon is also kind of mid, because even if I get a Swords Dance up, Flygon just kills me. If I get a Dragon Dance up, a smart Mega Flygon is going to go for First Impression, which means I also die, now that it has Stab on the move and a little bit of an attack boost. Bulking it out, because of the aforementioned, doesn't really do a whole lot. I did not draft Wigglytuff for this kind of matchup, and I am not bringing Wigglytuff to this kind of matchup. Weezing is surprisingly irksome. I thought it wouldn't be, but, you know, why not just have two Pokemon that completely negate Sneasler's entire existence? Also, Weezing kind of ruins Delta Snorlax, because with Levitate it dodges all of my coverage moves, and burns me, and taunts me, and it's not a very fun time. So all I really have left is a Tapu Lele and a Dream, which is not good. I hate it, but I don't have a better idea, so it's Hyper Offense time. Let's get into the prep. Again, these are in order of the team, not actually in the order I thought about them. Zeraora, fairly standard, hyper-offensive fare. I'm just clicking the buttons. I'm clicking Plasma Fists most of the time, I'm clicking Play Rough in Flygon's face, I'm clicking Return in Gliscor's face, and probably bulking up on it as well. Just trying to get my damage where I can. I'm pretty sure it's going to be specially defensive Gliscor because of the presence of my Delta Hydreigon. They want to cover from both sides. Delta Snorlax, it's here to be fat. Tangaberry resists bug moves, because Mega Flygon is a problem. Getting up a bulk up is a little bit harder than I would like, but once I do, I just take Shenpao moves. It's kind of crazy. This Pokemon is completely nuts. 12 speed is to hopefully make setting up on Copperajah a little bit easier, but I don't think Copperajah is really going to show up. Mega Flygon, it's mostly here to click Aqua Jet, and because I couldn't decide on any other better Pokemon in this instance. Dragon Dance is mostly a formality. I don't think I'm really getting that up, but if I find a spot, I might as well try. Skarmory! Any of y'all ever played Gen 5? Yeah, we're going to suicide lead stuff. I don't like it, but this is what we're working with. Stealth Rock and Spikes are the hazards, because I'm clicking the hazard buttons. Taunt stops hazards going up on me, especially because Gliscor isn't going to expect Skarmory to be that fast. And Brave Bird is useful for damage as well as killing yourself. And we're going to see how that shows up in a bit. Sneasler, doing pretty standard Unburden stuff, except not with a Psychic Seed. No, I forgot about Psychic Seed when making this team. So this is a Shukaberry Sneasler set, trying to live a Gliscor Earthquake while Swords Dancing in its face, hopefully twice, and then throwing an Acrobatics down, and hopefully just winning straight up from there. Upper hand is, here's the fun part, this is for Flygon First Impression Revenge Kill attempts, but more importantly, Chien-Pao. I didn't bring a poison move for it, so I'm really hoping it works. Spoiler alert, it did not do anything. And finally, we have Scarf Tapu Lele, my lord and savior, literally the only reason I think I have a chance. So what's the plan? Well, we're going to lead off with Skarmory. We're going to get our hazards, we're going to hopefully deny the opponents, going to chunk something with Brave Bird on the way out, maybe even block a hazard clear attempt by killing myself. It's going to be great. Tapu Lele is on cleanup crew. Whenever one of my guys fails to get a knockout and goes down for it, Tapu Lele comes up and sweeps it up. Psychic is for the Weezing, Psy Shock for Ceruledge and specially defensive Vaporeon, Focus Blast for the Elephant, and Moonblast for pretty much everything else. I'm pretty sure this is going to work. Their Lele switch-ins are kind of bad, but we're working with what we're working with. One good Pokemon on a team of 6 is not great, but anyway. Zaren comes in after Skarmory goes down and maybe after Lele cleans something up. I might have to hard switch into it, but that's totally fine. I bludgeon what I can, and I bulk up versus what I can't, namely Gliscor. I'm going to try to throw a couple of returns at it. I probably shouldn't have brought return to this game in retrospect, but that's totally fine. Use Citrus Berry to live a couple of Earthquakes, slam a couple of normal moves at it. We're mostly grasping at straws here, because Sneasler is also trying to lure Gliscor. Remember the Shukaberry? Yeah, here's where it comes in. If all goes well, Zera leaves Gliscor kind of low, so I dance with my Sneasler, eat my berry, proc Unburden, and begin the winning. I'm just going for gold. Really, all of this is just an excuse to get Tapu Lele to get more kills. Mega Flygon is on emergency duty. Dragon Dance is mostly a formality, as previously stated. Aqua Jet's the real reason I want to bring this Pokemon, and I might just end up throwing it away for something. But if there's some sort of setup threat, I'm gonna really want to have Aqua Jet for it. Plus, who knows, I might need to pick off a Chien-Pao from like 20. And finally, if I get this far, Snorlax with Bulk Up can probably pick up whoever's left, especially if there's like some random Tapu Koko lying around that I haven't dealt with yet. Snorlax probably kills it. So, I make this entire plan centered around beating up a Gliscor. Team preview comes around, and there's no Gliscor. What? It's fine. We're just gonna have to work with this. I definitely didn't make an entire plan just for Gliscor. I definitely don't have my item slot on my Unburdened Pokemon dedicated to Gliscor. I definitely didn't build multiple entire sets just to beat up Gliscor. I definitely didn't build this team with the intention that Gliscor was going to roll me. This is fine. Anyway, we know the leadoff is going to be Skarmory, so let's just get right into it. Start off on team preview. Weezing is the lead from the other side and shows neutralizing gas. I have no idea what's going on here, but I have no reason to deviate from my plan, so I'm just going to get my hazards. I get Stealth Rock, I expect to get burned or taunted, but I get corroded for most of my health instead. I'm like, oh, okay. Well, I'm faster, don't really need the Custap Berry right now. Let's just get the other hazard and move on with my life. Get my Spike, and I get burned. What? I didn't particularly understand why the Weezing went for Will-O-Wisp there, but hey, I will take my extra turn. So I go down to 22 into Custap range, and it's like, okay, it's Brave Bird time. The gas wears off. They're going to Hitmontop? Okay, I'll take my free damage. This shouldn't do much, and I'm right, that doesn't do very much. But I knock myself down with some recoil, take a little bit of burn damage, and now I start realizing, I smell bullshit afoot. This is probably rapid spinning in my face. So let's kill myself. Skarmory Brave Birds again gets Hitmontop even lower. Probably it's an Assault Vest set. Rapid Spin fails because there's no legal target. Let's go, Skarmory did the whole thing. And now we're going to the part of the game that actually matters. Tapu Lele, clicking buttons. There is exactly one Fairy Resist on this team. Its name is Weezing. It is currently taking 25% from these hazards because it's not Levitate for some reason. And Vaporeon also takes Moonblasts, but as you can see, it also will get Ravaged and Psyshock. Pop it like it, drop it like it's hot. Special defensive Vaporeon takes Psykicks decently well, but with hazards down and the fact that I shocked here, yeah, no, not happening. 1 down, 5 to go. Here comes Tapu Koko. I don't really think this is going to do terribly much to me. I forget about Thunder Wave in this instance, and am never punished even once, revealing my Scarf, dealing Tapu Koko a nearly lethal blow, and giving up a defog. Crap. Well, this is fine. I go to Zeraora, predicting a Chenpao, or just some kind of weird electric move, and yeah, it's Chenpao. It is in this moment where I regret having Return, because I don't have a fighting move. I can't actually one-hit KO this. I'm also crept aggressively for the purposes of keeping an adamant nature. So I think I'm faster? No, I'm not faster. I ate my Citrus Berry, but I'm still dead to another crunch. Play Rough comes out, and I get an attack drop. This was a decently pivotal point of the actual game, but in retrospect, as I was trying to justify how this game would play out, I don't think this attack drop mattered. It just meant I could stay in with Zeraora here, and click a few more buttons. And you'll see how those buttons turn out. Because here comes Weezing. Neutralizing Gas doesn't particularly matter. I click Plasma Fist, because it's my strongest move into the most targets. Weezing reveals Black Sludge instead of a Rocky Helmet, which this Weezing set is very strange, but I'm just like, hey, might as well keep bludgeoning this. I don't really have a reason not to, and the more I chip this down, the more I can just click Moonblast on the entire rest of the team, because this is the only other Moonblast switch in left. So there goes Zeraora, but here comes my Lord and Savior, Scarf Tapu Lele. I kind of forget about the Psychic Terrain, but hey, Weezing switches out, so I don't actually need to care. Here comes Hitmontop, Intimidate does not matter, LMAO got a Blast, 4 versus 4. Here comes Tapu Koko, replacing my terrain. I have a feeling I know why it's doing this. Because Chenpao is probably going to want to priority move me. So, I take my knockout where I can get it, because I already know I'm faster. And, yep, here's the Walrus. I've technically already taken a hit from this, so if I was smart, I would have scouted that this wasn't banded Chenpao, and thus, I don't die to a Sucker Punch. But I was not smart in the moment of playing this game, because I was still shell-shocked from the fact that I didn't have to deal with a Gliscor. So, this is technically playing around Crit Sucker Punch, because I have no reason to actually walk into that risk. So I'm just going to throw away the Sneasler that has no actual use here. And yep, there's the Sucker Punch. Ice Spinner for 67, Terrain gone, and hey, this Sneasler that I thought was never going to get its Unburden off in this entire game actually got a kill. Better than I expected. We take those. Here comes Flygon. I really don't want to get Dragon Danced on right here, but whew, I just get screamed at. We're totally fine. Back into Tapu Lele. 1 Scarf Moonblast. Goes down the Flygon. And a 2 Scarf Moonblast. Goes down the Weezing. And that's the game. It's been a while since I've had a matchup that bad. But we absolutely take those. I'll see you in the next one.